All right, folks. So today we're going to be tying a Bonefish Bendback Clouser. I wanted to show you guys some of the nuances to tying this fly and making it super durable and super effective in multiple different fishing scenarios. First thing I want to draw attention to is this little wedge shape to the head right here. I use Tough Fly for that. What that really does is it makes this fly very, very weedless. You can change this color and fish an olive and white, or a tan and white, or a Foxxee color, red foxtail, and you can fish it over turtle grass flats, and it is extremely weedless. You've got the hook point protected by all of the fur here, whether it be red fox or this is bucktail. But this is a size 6. When I go to size 8s, I quite often will switch to calftail, which is even stiffer than bucktail, but so it doesn't have as good an action in the water. But on a size 8, you're not really looking for much action. You're just looking for that silhouette, in my opinion. We're going to do pink and white today. I'm using pink thread here to. Sometimes I'll do white thread if if the water is super clear, which it quite often is. But sometimes if you're down around the Yucatan or something, that water has a little bit of a tannic stain to it. But out on the Bahamian flats, I'll quite often use white, even though I've got pink in there. I just think sometimes pink can be too bright. First things I want to show you guys how I bend the hook. So this is the hook when it's straight. This is the hook when I've bent it just the right amount. You can see that. This is it when you've bent it too much. Quite often in books I see they show you pictures of one bent that much. All you want is when you feel the metal bend just a little bit like that, that's all you need. And there are some hooks that I use that I can't bend because they're too brittle, like the Gamakatsu B10S. I like it in size 6 and 8 as well for some of these flies. I can't do that, so it stays straight, and I just tie it at a greater angle there to create that same bend back effect. So we'll start with the eyes here. Get those tied on. Make sure you get that hook in there so it's nice and tight, and that this part that you're going to tie on is parallel. Now this is where Dynaking vices kind of come in nicely. I can take it, rotate it however I need it to be rotated. So I start one hook eye, or one thread wrap behind the eye 4 or 5 times, come in. I don't cut my thread ever, or almost never. I try to slice it. Build a little bit of a thread bump there. So that's what I take and I shove my eye back to. I do 3 wraps, kind of pull tight, turn it, 1, 2, 3 wraps, pull tight, make sure it's square and centered on the hook. Go around the hook just a couple times to lock those in, and then I helicopter around the eyes. That helps lock it in. 3 more times across. Helicopter once or twice, maybe 3 times around. And there. Those are locked in there pretty good. They're sturdy on their own, but everybody knows I like my flies to be super durable, so I add a drop of my lightning bond. Those are now super glued in. Yep, it's already warm, so it's kicked. Bring my thread forward just a little bit there. Pre-measure your bucktail. I have a ruler on the side that I use, so I know that that's how I get consistent length flies every time. Trim them, and then I wrap around the bucktail, lay it on a 45, go over with that thread, and I can pull it right up to the top with the thread tension. I can lay it down. I was just a millimeter short there. Give it a little pull. Still not quite. That's looking good. That one straggler I'm going to cut out now. I always like to have a little bit more crystal flash, or I'm sorry, a little bit more Flashabou than crystal flash. So I've got, for a size 6, I do 3 crystal flash and 4 Flashabou. On size 8, I take it down to 2 and 3. And then once I get above, what is it, size 2, I do 4 crystal flash and 5 Flashabou. So notice I've got the Flashabou just a hair longer than the crystal flash as well for that flash tail effect. I measure it so I only have to cut the one side, wrap it around that thread, bring it in on top, 3 wraps, 4 wraps back. Now, all the stuff that's super long, come in one at a time, cut them to the length you want. I like the Flashabou, like I said, longer than the crystal flash as well. If you have any errant, random, like that one piece of bucktail I know is going to be a problem, go in there and trim it out there now. Now at this point, I want to get some head cement in there, just to make sure that bucktail is wet. And apply our top wing, which for me is going to be pink. Measure it, make sure it's the right length. I normally undo 1 or 2 of those turns, so I'm back into the middle here somewhere. Same thing around the pink, lay it at a 45, come over the top of the hook, and you can literally just pull it right up to the top. And if you've got the distance right, there you go. Nice neat head. All that's wrapped in nicely. Then I take and I'll do a 2-turn whip finish to kind of stop it from being able to undo itself. And I'll do a 4 or 5-turn whip finish to build the shape I want in my head, which is just an even head shape. I don't want to see any bumps or. I'll put another drop of head cement in there. Let it soak in for a second. Since we put it underneath, I know that the stuff underneath is dry. Now, when I'm tying these commercially, I'll do all of these, let them sit, let that head cement dry, and then I'll do the tough fly. But for video purposes, we're going to put the tough fly on now. I like to do the eyeball, let it hit it for just 3 or 4 seconds. It's not fully cured, but it won't move anymore. It'll lose its viscosity. Protect that plated surface, and if it was a red eye with a black pupil, it protects that painted eye. Then the next thing I like to do is come in, do all the thread wraps all the way around. Make sure I've got them all lightly covered. I don't want a really thick covering here. But this really protects this thread from coral, from the sand on the flats as well. In just 3 or 4 seconds, that's enough to set it. I want to come in and I want to get the thread that's at the back of those eyes as well. I just put a drop there, 3 or 4 seconds. Remember, each one of those 3 or 4 seconds in aggregate is adding up to 15 or 20 seconds for that first application. I want to fill in that void on the one side as best I can. Let it droop a little, hit it real quick. Same thing on the other side. Let it droop, hit it really quick. Hit it. Now I'm going to get that wedge shape right here by filling in that spot exactly where I want it with the amount that I want. Let it droop a little, hit it. Same on this side. This is where I make sure I do it evenly so I get a nice wedge. That's really what makes it very, very weedless. Fill in that gap between the eyes. If you guys haven't used Tough Fly, it's one of the original light cured acrylics out there. But what it has going for it is it uses blue light. All the other ones use ultraviolet. So when we go fishing, we wear buffs and sun gloves and all these other things to protect ourselves from ultraviolet. I don't want a light creating it, inches from my hand in the quantities that I tie. I don't think that that's safe. So I stick with the Tough Fly. It's tried and true. It works great. Comes in 2 viscosities and then flexible. So it comes in a super thick formula, and all I did there was apply their top coat. A lot of people will say use Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails or whatever, but I'm not sponsored by these guys. I just like their product. Give it about 30 seconds and it'll be done. See here. Pull those fibers out. There we go. It's a little pink and white Bendback Clouser. That hook point is protected, as you can see right here, but as soon as that bucktail goes down, the point's right there. We've got that nice wedge shape here, so it's going to be weedless in grass and in sticks. I tie these in crappie colors too. Funky Chicken, which is a hot pink, and Chartreuse is a great color for crappie, and about this size. I do put a little bit heavier lead eyes on it then, just to help it jig down a little, but I can throw it right into a treetop, or an old Christmas tree. Comes right out pretty well. Yeah, there you guys go.